News tonight. Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, visits President Muhammadu Buhari as shows of prayer for his second-term bid. In business, federal government extends voluntary assets and income declaration scheme deadline to June 30. On the foreign scene, Eurocontrol warns airlines on possible launch of airstrikes in 72 hours. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen's flagship news, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adinke Owoye Ajiboye. Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, during his visit to Abuja House, London, says the church will be praying for President Muhammadu Buhari following his declaration for a second-term bid in office. Welby said it was always a delight to see President Muhammadu Buhari, whom he said had tremendous respect for. The Archbishop presented Buhari with a copy of his recent book, Remaining Britain, Foundations for Hope. Buhari and Welby were later joined by the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, George Oguntade, and the Secretary General of Anglican Communion, Archbishop Josiah Idowu Ferrum. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointments of 7 resident electoral commissioners for the Independent and National Electoral Commission, INEC, among other appointments into some agencies and the ministries of Health, Information and Culture, Education, as well as Power Works and Housing. The appointments were contained in a statement by the Director of Information, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Lawrence Ojabo. According to the statement, the new regs are Emmanuel Hart, Mohammed Ibrahim, Cyril Omorube, Uthman Ajidaba, Shegun Agbaje, Baba Yusuf, and Yahya Bello. Ojabo said the appointments of the regs were for initial term of 5 years, adding that the appointment will take effect from April 17. President Muhammadu Buhari has written 2 letters to the Senate seeking confirmation of Festus Okoye as a National Commissioner representing Southeast Geopolitical Zone for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. In the separate letters read to the House by Senate President Bukola Saraki, the President in the second letter sought the confirmation of 23 nominees from different states as commissioners of the National Population Commission, NPC, as well as confirmation of 2 nominees as non-legal practitioner members of the Federal Judicial Service Commission.
The distinguished Senate President requests for confirmation of appointment of 1 National Commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission. In accordance with the provision of Section 1541 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I write to forward to the distinguished Senate the name of Barrister Festus Okoye for confirmation as National Commissioner representing Southeast Geopolitical Zone. While hoping that this request will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammad Buhari. In accordance with provision of Section 1541 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I write to forward to the Senate for confirmation the following names of 23 nominees representing their respective states at the National Population Commission. Nwane Johnny Wabusi, Abia; Dr. Clifford T. Ozira, Adamawa; Mr. Chidi Christopher Ezioke, MNI, Anambra; Barrister Isa Audu Baratai, Borno; Navy Captain Charles Inyam Ogwa, retired, Cross River. While hoping that this request will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammad Buhari.
Senate President Bukola Saraki reading the nomination list sent to the House by President Muhammadu Buhari. And now moving on, an appeal has been made to the Lagos State government to double its efforts in maintaining effective cleanliness of the state. A cross-section of Lagos residents who made the appeal in an interview with Superscreen television tasked Governor Akinwumi Ambode to live up to the record of the previous administration of former Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola. The report.
A trip around Lagos metropolis shows how filthy the state has become since the withdrawal of the private sector participants, PSP, on the waste wars orchestrated by a disagreement over the Cleaner Lagos initiative, a development that led to gap in service delivery. Today, there are heaps of waste on roads, streets, junctions, marketplaces, and other available spaces in different neighborhoods in Lagos State. Reacting on this development, these residents attributed the cause to poor discharge of the Lagos State management and charged the Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on immediate solution that will rid the state of dirt.
Lagos State is not a good place to talk of when it comes to cleanliness. And judging by what it used to be, especially during the time of the past administration, Lagos seems to be cleaner than what it is now. And we thought this government would have improved on what was there before. But the reverse is the case.
In terms of cleanliness in Lagos, I think Governor Ambode needs to do a very tough job. They said we're using Cleaner Lagos, which I thought Cleaner Lagos, they don't have enough equipment to serve the Lagosian very well.
Look at this place. They started from throwing just a nylon, but due to the fact that when people see that they are throwing just a nylon there, they started bringing their own dustbin there and throw it there, quite disturbing everywhere. What can you, to say the facts, in terms of cleanliness, is not well managed.
We don't see them working. Like me, I used to use money to throw my dustbin away because they said that we should be doing Thursday environmental, and we always do it. After the training, we don't see that come and back to them. We always use money to throw it away. And when we saw the PSP motor passing, they don't allow us to throw the dustbin away.
Cleaning in Lagos State is not okay at all, but we are begging everybody to help us about the cleanliness of Lagos State.
You will recall that in February 2017, Governor Akinwumi Ambode signed into law a policy on the Environmental Management, Protection and Sustainable Development Bill 2017, which suspended the state's agreement with PSP, where he transferred the management of the state's waste to Visionscape Group, a foreign environmental sanitation management company. Today, all pointers shows Visionscape is not living up to their promise of efficient delivery. With the latest development where both parties had their war by virtue of court order for negotiating their agreement to go together and work together. These residents insist that what is paramount is for the state to maintain the cleanliness seen during the last administration of Babatunde Fashola.
When they were handling the debts of Lagos, everywhere was okay. If you look around now, you see debts right in front of the market, even in between the market. So to me, what I feel is that if they bring back Loma and PSP, everywhere would go, everything would go back the way it used to be. Where we have a lorry there, that Loma used to park there, and everything is good.
They would have included the cart pushers, probably to organize them, register them, and have a system that will manage that particular sector. Because there are some areas in Lagos that are not accessible to Loma vehicles.
If they bring back Loma and the PSP, everywhere will be okay. Now, the last time they said they don't want the cart pushers in Lagos. Now, cart pushers are the people that are helping Lagosians to clean their environment.
We paid for the Loma every month. and they came, they took the dustbin, they took the dirty away. So what I can say is that the house that does not pay or does not have this bin bucket, I believe that they should be, that people responsible for putting dustbin there. That's my own belief, and that's what they should act on. Who are the people? Who are the house that they are not paying those lawma? And that's the only solution they can do they can find to this dustbin issue.
Worthy of note is that the resolution of both parties to work together will see PSP referred to as the waste collection operators and will be paid for their services, while Vision Scope Sanitation Solution will work on developing infrastructure that will facilitate effective integrated waste management system. Still staying with Lagos State, a trailer has hit a young man on a motorbike, popularly called Okada, in Oshodi area of Lagos State. Witnesses say the young man was on the bike at the early hours of today when the trailer hit him unknowingly and drove away. Many believe the young man was on his way to work and met his Waterloo at his destination where the trailer hit him. The accident caused a scene at Oshodi as people gathered to pour out their emotions to sympathize with the dead, while some blamed his death on the Lagos State government due to many road projects being carried out at once, which has led to many people mounting bikes on that road to avoid traffic jam. Others blamed the young man for mounting a bike on the highway. The accident also led to traffic jam at Oshodi as a Lagos State Emergency Management Agency officials responded timely to clear the body. Members of the House of Representatives and the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustafa Mehaja, have disagreed over the procurement of 1.6 billion naira relief materials for states hit by flooding in 2017. Each of the 16 affected states was to receive materials worth 100 million naira from the emergency agency to assist the victims. Lawmakers observed that while NEMA received funding for the intervention in July 2017, many of the states started receiving deliveries in March this year, 9 months after the floods wreaked havoc. Mehaja had appeared before the House Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, chaired by Ali Issa. The committee is investigating alleged violation of a public trust by NEMA and non-compliance to the provisions of the Public Procurement Act. Nigeria is partnering Ghana to curb activities of criminal and cocaine trafficking. Program Coordinator of the United Nations on Drugs and Crime, Mako Texera, made this known during a meeting between delegates of the two countries in Abuja.
This second meeting is being held after the initial meeting that was held in Ghana in the end of February, where both countries and both delegations agreed on intensifying the cooperation in concrete case basis that touch common points of both countries, or criminal networks operating in both countries. In terms of context, this is part of the efforts that both Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Narcotic Control Board from Ghana, and Ghana Police Services, the Criminal Investigation Department, are doing to curb the threats associated with drug trafficking that affects both countries. It was decided by both delegations that the responses could not be a pure national-led responses, but should be based in the common efforts between the two countries and the three organizations or institutions present in here.
On his part, NDLEA Director of Operations, Lumbinga, said the alliance of both countries is a move to address a common threat, just as other stakeholders vow to make the collaboration work.
We have a lot to share with our colleagues from Ghana, and we are determined to narrow the space for the criminal. Because if we cooperate, there will be the criminals that will want to avoid Nigeria to go to Ghana will be checked. Criminals that want to escape from Ghana and come to Nigeria will be checked, because we will be exchanging intelligence and we will also be having joint efforts to thwart their activities.
We want to make our sub-region a safer place. And you know, the criminals work with cooperation and networking. And to overcome them, you must also work in the same manner and procedure. Drugs actually are the main fuel to a lot of criminal activities in the world over. Talk of terrorism, arms deal, and all the crimes have elements of drugs in it, because of the fast means of making money in the drug trade. So what we're going to do, and what we started doing in our main meeting here, is to make strong the collaboration between Ghana and Nigeria with the help of UNODC to make sure we fight these criminals, preventing them from gaining from their drug trade, and to make our world a safer place.
The project is founded by the European Union and implemented by the United Nations on Drugs and Crime (UNODC) in preventing criminals from gaining a transnational ground in the world. In a related development, the Edo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it apprehended 45 suspects in connection with illicit drug trafficking in the first quarter of 2018. The state commander of the agency, Buba Wakawa, who disclosed this in an interview with journalists, said the NDLEA seized 13,542 kilograms substances suspected to be cannabis and cocaine within the period. He also said that the agency destroyed suspected psychotropic substance weighing about 24.2 kilograms, maintaining that it discovered 12 suspected cannabis farms measuring 7.4 hectares. Coming up in business, federal government extends voluntary assets and income declaration scheme deadline to June 30. Join us for details of these and more after this timeout. Welcome back. Now in business news, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the extension of the voluntary assets and income declaration scheme avails to June 30. The approval for the extension of the deadline is contained in a statement issued by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, in Abuja. According to the statement, the short extension after the original March 31 date is based on the appeals of professional bodies and individual taxpayers. The statement, however, maintained that no further extension of time will be approved after June 30. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has recovered 28 billion naira from tax defaulters for the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Executive Chairman of the FIRS, Babatunde Fowler, disclosed this when he led a delegation to the acting chairman of EFCC, Ibrahim Mago. A statement by the EFCC head of media and publicity, Wilson Ujaran, said Fowler lauded the anti-graft agency for its role, particularly in the recovery of 28 billion naira from various tax defaulters across the country. The FIRS boss emphasized the need to strengthen the existing collaboration and synergy between the two agencies. And our report says a non-governmental organization, NGO, Sani Diligent Services, in collaboration with the Kogi government, have trained 500 farmers and e-commerce. Its managing director, John Amunta, who disclosed this in Lokoja, said that the training cuts across areas such as agriculture, fashion, recycling, and real estate. She also said that 10,000 farmers were targeted through value chain with information and communication technology (ICT), including benefits such as workshop, business plan, loan facilities, off-takers opportunity, partnership, and business connection. Joy maintained that the organization had mapped out 1,000 hectares of land for this wet season, but the main challenge, according to her, was land clearing, saying the commissioner has promised to facilitate that. Oil prices have soared to their highest level amid the possibility of the U.S. carrying out airstrikes against Syria. Report says although Syria is not a key oil producer, the wider Middle East is the world's most important crude exporter, and tensions in the region tend to disrupt oil markets. Brent crude rose to $71.33 per barrel, marking its highest level since December 3, 2014, while American benchmark West Texas Intermediate WTI rose to as much as $65.86 a barrel, its highest level since March 27. And that's it in business news. Now still ahead on the news. Eurocontrol warns allies on possible launch of airstrikes in 72 hours. Details of these and more coming up on the foreign scene.